Hey everyone, welcome back. It is Friday, September 17th, 2021. I hope everyone's had a amazing week as we prepare for the weekend, and it is Friday. We are here for the weekend. In the world of sports, if you saw the NFL game last night between the Giants and the Washington football team, that was a very well game as well. I was happy for that game. I didn't watch the entirety. I only saw highlights of the game, but it was a good game. Um, and it went right down to the wire. And for two teams that not that doesn't have that momentum, we saw a really good game back on Monday between the Raiders and the Ravens. And although this rivalry between the Giants and Washington, is a good rival, we still have not um, clarified if that was, it's not your number one, okay, let's pay attention to this game. We want to watch it. So it wasn't the biggest Thursday night football of the season, obviously, but it was a good game. It went right down to the wire. Went right, with Washington's quarterback being out, they had to go to the backup quarterback, which means a tighter game. Um, and it was well performed. It went right down to the final second. An offsides penalty from the Giants led a field goal to be good for the Washington football team to beat the Giants 30-29. And that was yesterday's football score. Now, that's just to start off the weekend because now we're here Friday. If you went through the week and you followed some sports, if you followed baseball, you followed football, you followed college, whatever the case, or if you followed professional wrestling, you had a little bit of everything this week, which was amazing. And you haven't seen that in a while. So, I mean, this week was very well impact. You had the Raiders upsetting the Ravens back on Monday. You had Big E winning the um, you had Big E winning the WWE Championship after cashing in the Money in the Bank contract on Monday. You had Tommaso Ciampa uh, become the new NXT champion after Samoa Joe having to relinquish his title due to an injury. So everything is just falling now and starting to become more creative. We head into, we talk about maybe what's coming up this weekend, and we have SmackDown coming up. Roman Reigns and is in the eye, has eyes on Finn Balor at Extreme Rules. We'll get more into that on Saturday. We also have the future down the line because no matter what happens between tomorrow's match and Finn Balor and Brock Lesnar, you will see Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. It was just announced earlier this week that they will compete once more at Crown Jewel coming up next month. So that was exciting. But what do we need to know for this weekend? Heading into sports, heading into baseball, we officially are 3 weekends away before the end of the season. For a lot of these teams, there are still plenty of teams making their way down that are trying to contend for that last or the wild card spots. Okay, AL is all compact. There's several games this weekend to pay attention to. There's also games in the National League, which I've been stressing about for the last 2 weeks that need paid attention to. So we will cover over those. What do you need to know? NCAA football is back up again. There's a lot of great action coming by. A few good games. We'll mention those on games that if you could get locally, then tune into them. So NCAA football, followed by week 2 of the NFL, which there's a few games that are definitely intriguing. So that is this segment. We will go over the NFL. We will go over the world of sports. And I'm leaving out soccer. I'm leaving out certain topics because I'm not familiarized with. So if there's something that I didn't cover throughout this segment that you possibly are following that you would like to see me cover, then let me know. And we will do our best to correct that coming down the future. I know that we got MLS soccer coming up. Golf is still going on. There's a couple different sports. So that's just leave us a comment and we'll get to you throughout the time. I want to kind of briefly just paint you a picture of what's happening the rest of this weekend. So we did the NFL yesterday. We have the review for the weekend this weekend. There will be at least 2 more live streams coming up here this week, and we have a guest host coming to joining us here tomorrow as we review the Extreme Rules match card as of tomorrow. So please be tuned into that. Once I know better time frame and whatnot, we will get more into detail with that. We would also, excuse me, we also have our regular talk show coming to you through live stream on Sunday, this coming up Sunday in the afternoon. So please tune into that weekly. We're going to take a different approach to it for the most part. So, it's going to be interesting, and I want your feedback. How would you like this? Are you liking this new approach? And there's a couple other things that we're going to cover on that. So get right into it. Like I said, it's been a huge weekend here in the world of sports. We have professional wrestling that comes back tonight. And when I say professional wrestling, I mean WWE. We had a great, I feel like it was a better Monday Night Raw show, and we'll get into the review of that. I think that the fact that Tommaso Ciampa won, Big E won in their brands kind of influence on how everything went away. So, a lot of things happening. We also have, I apologize, that was my phone getting distracted so damn soon. So, a lot of things happen in the world of sports. I just came up across, I believe, yesterday, and so I want to give out a congratulations to Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae as they revealed their gender of their newborn that will be expected sometime in the middle of February. So wish them the best of luck throughout their journey. You can see that down below on the comments. I just want to give a quick shout out to that. But right back into sports. So let's take football wrestling aside for a second, because wrestling we cover, I believe, quite a bit on the weekends. And tomorrow we're going to have a busy weekend covering Extreme Rules match card. On Saturday, we're also covering, the regular week show, and then we'll get into next week. But I think we have a lot to cover here over the next time I have with you on this live stream. But we have other sports going on. And we'll jump right down into baseball. As of today, we still have the wild card spots still open for grabs. And it's not a walk. This is a very big week, and there's a lot of great games coming up here. We take a look in the AL West, and we'll start off in the West here. There are key important games, and these are ones as I was reviewing to watch, hey, what would we want to watch out of the West? These are the games to watch. Cleveland over in New York, Minnesota over in Toronto, Baltimore over in Boston. If you are a AL American League viewer and you guys like the American League style and you guys like the American League, which I enjoy the American League. Like I said, I mentioned yesterday, I was more of a National League person, but these are the key games coming up to you in the American League this weekend. They're not necessarily rival games. So Cleveland not looking for a postseason opportunity. The Minnesota Twins are not looking for a postseason opportunity. Neither are the Baltimore Ravens. But you know what these three teams are trying to do? Because New York, Toronto, and Boston are in the postseason hunt. As of today, you are seeing Toronto and Boston tied or having the respected the two slots right now in the wild card. The Yankees are a half a game out. So, what are these teams trying to do? Well, it's simple. They're trying to, the Indians, the Twins, the Orioles are trying to knock off one of these three teams. We are also, and I haven't really, other games that I haven't posted that are worth mentioning in the American League. Seattle is over in Kansas City. Oakland is over in Los Angeles and will be facing the Angels. Those two games. Now, we look at the wild card and what's presented. We have the Mariners and the Athletics about 3 to 4 games back. Excuse me. Now, with that being said, gosh, excuse me, too early in the morning here for me. But with that being said, those are still games. I just don't consider them noticeable to watch this weekend. Therefore, I haven't mentioned. So this weekend, if you're looking for American League Baseball, these are 3 games that are worthy enough to pay attention to. But I want to direct you, like I said, I'm a huge advocate of the National League. And I feel like this year's National League wildcard is more intense as we have 2 really particular games coming up this weekend, just like that last weekend, that are key to watch, where they are in a crucial position. And that is, the Dodgers, and we want to congratulate the Dodgers for being the second team in Major League Baseball this season to clinch a playoff berth. So as of right now, the Giants still hold with 95 games of win in the West. They currently also hold the best record in baseball and as well as in the National League. The Dodgers, on the other hand, are only 94 wins. And they have clinched that first, so either the Giants or the Dodgers are either going to walk away. One's going to walk away with the division championship. One's going to walk away with the wild card. Now, the second wild card spot right now. And I mean, okay, so listen, you still have the Atlanta Braves. Excuse me, I apologize. You still have the Atlanta Braves holding the East and the Milwaukee Brewers holding the Central. I don't know if any of that's going to change, but the Cardinals, I don't know if any of that's going to change. But right now, that second wild card spot is the place to watch. You have the St. Louis Cardinals currently holding that spot right now with 76 wins. The Padres are half a game out, and the Cincinnati Reds are 1 game out of that wild card. And we get into matchups this weekend. 2 key games coming to you here from the National League side. And one of them is the Los Angeles Dodgers going over to the Cincinnati Reds. And that's going to be a 3-game series. Walker Buehler is scheduled to take the mound tonight over Luis Castillo. You can't put a matchup better than this in all retrospect. 2 of your top guys competing against each other. I think Scherzer is expected to go out on tomorrow. But this is a very important game if you're the Reds. You want to stay in. This can define the rest of your season. We talked about how the Reds needed, they were playing the Pirates all week long. They're going to play Pirates 2 more series again. 6 more games, I believe. And they didn't necessarily perform well. They had an opportunity, and we will see, we already know the difficulties that it comes with the Reds facing the Dodgers and then the White Sox before the end of the season. We will see if the Reds can prevail. This is important. If they could come away with 2 games out of this weekend, this will be a huge weekend for the Cincinnati Reds. But yet again, they have to face this Dodgers that are looking to win the division at the same time. But this is going to be a matchup to watch. These are, along with the second game here, and that's going to be the Padres over in St. Louis. Velasquez scheduled on the mound for the Padres, taking on Miles Michaelis for the Cardinals. These are two teams. The Padres, they definitely showed their fatigue. They definitely are showing their injuries with the additional injuries of Blake Snell. They are winding down, and they're somehow staying in it, which is great. But how much longer? And this is an opportunity for not only the Cardinals to put the Padres out of the playoffs, but this is also the chance for the Cardinals to separate themselves from the Reds as among any other team that's looking to contend in the wild card. So busy weekend for baseball here. Another match another game going on this weekend that I did not mention that was worthy enough to mention are the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets. Now, the reason I didn't mention them or I don't post them is because they're about 2.5 to 5 games out. This weekend, if the Phillies could overcome the Mets, you could see the Mets be knocked out of the playoffs pretty much. As well as this is another step. If the Padres and Cardinals go 1-1 and 1-2, whatever, Phillies, if they sweep, they could be looking right back into that postseason run too. So don't count out the Phillies quite yet. These other two games are much more bigger than everything else that is going on here. So baseball wise, there's a handful of games to watch. You could watch. There's about 5 to 7 games that you guys could tune into this weekend. And I encourage you to tune into these games this weekend and let's see how these teams prevail. And we will join back with you next week as we will go ahead and retake a look at things once more. So that's the baseball side of things. Now we get into the fun football. We have the exciting, if you're looking for college football this weekend, we have the exciting Maryland versus Illinois tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But then we look into some games that are into this weekend, and notable games here. But we're looking for key games that stand out. And really right now there's 2 games. Before we get to those 2 games, I kind of want to give you some games. As you see down below, some of the games that are going on. You have so there's a couple of 2-0 games. New Mexico versus Texas A&M, Nevada versus Kansas State, Purdue versus Notre Dame, Georgia Tech versus Clemson. They're both 1-1 on the season. Florida State versus Wake Forest. Florida State is 0-2, which is actually very shocking to me. Wake Forest is 2-0. But then, and then Ohio State also is also 1-1. I believe they're facing Tulsa this weekend. So there's a handful of games coming to you this weekend. But there's 2 particular games that I'm pointing out this weekend here that I feel are games of the week. And that is going to be, let me see what I can get up. Nope. Let's go back to that. I apologize, you guys. That is going to be Nebraska and Oklahoma. Oklahoma is 2-0. Nebraska is 2-1. And then Alabama versus Florida. Both of them are 2-0. So those are 2 key games that to be watching out for. And what's great is I think they're scattered throughout. So you'll get Oklahoma and Nebraska first, and then you'll get Alabama and Florida as well. So definitely want to tune into that. I believe Oklahoma and Alabama is ranked number 1. Oklahoma, I want to say, is somewhere ranked along the line. But if you're looking for something to do on Saturday other than baseball, you're looking for some sort of football games going on. I know there's a handful of football games going on in your local area, televised wise, but these 2 are primetime games of the weekend. Alabama, Florida, one of them is going to lose. And then you have Oklahoma trying to keep that 2-0 to go 3-0 here, while Nebraska is trying to upset Oklahoma there. So plenty of NCAA football coming your way. But now we want to get in. We watched a great game that was shocking to, I think, most people, between the Giants and the Washington football team last night, where it went right down to the wire. And that, that was the exciting part of this matchup, was how close. So we get right into football here. As we mentioned, some games going to you in your local area. I don't know what games you guys get, but NFL this weekend, there's a handful of games. New Orleans over in Carolina, Cincinnati over in Chicago. The key question for this weekend is the teams that will go 0-2. And we mentioned that yesterday in our show. But there's teams like the Dallas Cowboys who fell short to the Buccaneers. They're going over to Los Angeles and playing the Chargers in SoFi Stadium. As much as I would love to see the Chargers upset the Cowboys and pick up a victory at home, you also got to ask how much of a important game this is for the Cowboys, considering Dak Prescott's back, as well as they are looking to make a statement in the East. While on the other hand, you got San Francisco over in Philadelphia. Now, this is a good game. They're both 1-1 on the season. But Jimmy Garoppolo over there for the Niners. And we're going to see how the Eagles come home and prevail. So San Francisco, Philadelphia. You also got Arizona taking on Minnesota. Arizona won last week. Minnesota doesn't want to drop down to 2-0. Tennessee and Seattle, Buffalo and Miami. Trevor Lawrence will get his home debut against the Denver Broncos this coming up Sunday in Jacksonville. So how will he do? LA, the Rams are looking to go to Indianapolis, make it 2-0. I said Houston, Texas. Ooh. See, there's that typo. Appreciate I found that out earlier. The Houston, Texas, and the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland coming from 0-2 to now. There we go. Correct that down there. I apologize. But the Cleveland Browns, who lost against the Chiefs, it was a tough battle. They lost fair and square here against the Chiefs this past Sunday. But the Houston Texans, who picked up the victory, they're looking to go to Cleveland to win again. But I'm actually very excited to see Cleveland come back home, open up the season at home, and I'm actually rooting for them to win this Sunday. Cincinnati had a good performance last week as they beat the Minnesota Vikings in overtime, but now they get to go back. They get to go to Chicago. They get to go and face the Bears, where Justin Fields or Andy Dalton can perform. But we take a look. We're going to take that. Those are just some key games. I want to take a look at some notable games, though, coming up this weekend here. Las Vegas Raiders and the Pittsburgh Steelers, I strongly believe that is the primetime game of the day. So out of all the games played, Raiders and Steelers, with the momentum and the energy that the Raiders had back on Monday night to help pick up the victory over Baltimore. Listen, kudos to Big Ben and kudos to the Steelers, who won their game last Sunday. Great. They beat Buffalo. But now they get to face the Raiders. And the Raiders are looking this year to make a statement. They move over to Las Vegas. They pick up and they sign Derek Carr. They picked up John Gruden for multi-year contract. They got their feet wet the last couple years. This is the year that they need to make a statement. You saw that back on Monday Night Football, and they need to continue that heading into Pittsburgh. Not an easy stadium to play in, but Raiders and Steelers is going to probably be a really gruesome game to watch. And I'm excited. If that's the case, I'm excited to watch, and I want to tune into it, which follows over into Sunday Night Football, the next primetime game that people should be paying attention attention to is the Chiefs and the Ravens. I know these are two teams that people have been talking about for years, always doing battle and always having a physical time. Well, Ravens fell short. Do they go home and they drop another game, but this time to the Chiefs? I mean, the Chiefs are looking to go back to the Super Bowl. They're looking to this time beat the Buccaneers. I mean, this is a game for the Chiefs that they are on a firing roll. They're not looking to stop anytime soon. The Chiefs they're making that statement and that their point that they run the AFC. And with Tom Brady out of New England, with some of these teams winding down, with how good, with all the West teams in the well, actually, matter of fact, all the West teams, period, won last week. Okay. They want to go over and give Baltimore an 0-2 start. But just imagine if the Ravens start the season off 0-2. Wow. That will be coming to you the next week with some other concerns and issues. And then with another primetime game, because it's Monday Night Football, but because of both 0-1, okay, the Packers had an upsetting loss against the Saints last week. Detroit lost to San Francisco. Detroit Lions take on the Green Bay Packers Monday Night Football. That is also primetime game. And, it's a good game. It's a rivalry game. And Jared Goff gets to face Aaron Rodgers. So I'm excited to watch that game. So key games. There's 3 key games, I believe, for NFL. Now, I mean, listen, if I didn't get a chance to mention your team, I apologize. I'm going off of what I'm reviewing here, what I see as highlights based off of the records, based off the performance they did last week, based off the stats last week. Like I said, Raiders had a really good game last week. Kansas City had a really tough game against Cleveland. Detroit and Green Bay, yes, they both lost, but one of them is going to go 0-2 for sure. They're in Green Bay. I could see Packers winning, but will the Lions prevail? Can they upset the Packers this season and give the Packers a 0-2 start? But see, that's all just stuff that's coming up this weekend. So there's plenty of games between baseball, college football, and the NFL. There are plenty of games to promote for. We have a busy weekend ahead of you. Okay. I want to give a quick shout out to StreamYard, who is the studio that we run through this Facebook Live. Hopefully there's not many delays. Hopefully my voice is clear. Please let me know if my voice is not clear. If there is a video delay, I mean, we're working on that, but there's a reason why I'm going back to StreamYard compared to the YouTube studio. I mentioned that yesterday. You'll find out this weekend. I'm actually pretty excited about that. And once you guys know, you guys will understand. So let us know. Please, if you're on YouTube, please, it's at J&J Talk Show. You can, subscribe, hit that notification button so you don't miss a single episode. And like it and leave us a comment. If you're on Facebook, go to JJ Talk Show, follow the page, go to the page. You can catch all these episodes right here. Also, I want to give a quick shout out to a friend of mine who's been promoting our channel for such a long time. And his name is Trey, and he will be our guest host tomorrow, Saturday, September 18th, 2021, as we break down and we break down the match card for Extreme Rules. So he will be joining us live tomorrow. We will come back Sunday for our talk show, the J&J Talk Show, the original crew. And we're excited. So please hit that like, share, and subscribe. Leave us a comment. I know Trey does a lot of promotion. So if you're finding us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, please come on over. We're excited to have you. On behalf of the J&J Talk Show, my name is Justin. And until tomorrow, you guys have a wonderful day and enjoy a wonderful weekend.